Hello again, this is Dominic from Sales and Pepper again, and today I have a new guest here, and her name is Emma Wallin from Monta, and I would like to hand over to you, Emma, to give you the opportunity to introduce yourself to our audience today.
Perfect. Thanks a lot, Dominic, and happy to be here. So, yeah, Emma Wallin, Swedish, but now living in Norway, actually in Oslo, and I'm the country manager for the Danish startup Monta, trying to make EV charging easier and more accessible than it is today.
Interesting topic, I would say. I also worked for a company called Park Now, and we had like a sister company was Charge Now, which were also in this EV charging area. So, what are you actually doing as a country manager there at Monta? What's your main job?
Oh, wow! It's a lot right now since we've been in Norway for now 8 months or so, and we were founded 2020 in November, so we quite a young company. So I was also the first employee for Monta in Norway. So it's been all the hard job when prospecting, book meetings, marketing, PR, interviews, hiring, and everything basically. But now I have two more employees joining the company, so now it's a little bit more structured where I can focusing not be 100% hands-on, but also have more focusing on the long-term strategic part as well.
So is it more like a platform for cars being able to charge electric on an electric way, or what's the main product you're trying to implement there in Norway?
Yeah, so we can say we are Android, but for EV charging. So if some of you are listening to the episode and you are having an EV, you probably know that it's quite hard sometimes to charge on the public ones. You need to have several different apps and there are different payment methods. So it's a little bit of a chaos out there when it comes to EV charging on the public charge point. So what we are doing, we integrate towards all the different hardware manufacturers out there. So we only need to have one software or one platform or one app. And it doesn't matter where you are in the world. So you can use Monta in Germany, in Sweden, Norway, and China if you want to. And when we get there, of course.
Yeah, sounds like this makes a lot of sense, and that's what I like about products when when somebody's there and have a smart idea. Emma, you have a quite interesting background. I just scrolled around your LinkedIn profile and to get a little bit understanding of where you're actually coming from. And what was super interesting for me is I saw that you started your career at McDonald's. Maybe you can talk a little bit about that. How did you made it from like working at McDonald's next to your high school to becoming a country manager at Monta?
Yeah, I mean, that was a very good job so early in your career, and just having that as a part-time job and you learn so much. I think that is one of the best schools that you actually can do from regarding the work-related experience. But wow, they've been a quite interesting journey. First of all, I was never thinking about ending up in sales or marketing. I've been thinking about leadership, but not sales. I was like, I'm not a sales girl, or I'm not a saleswoman. I want to be in fashion or something like that, more creative stuff. But after high school, I started at PricewaterhouseCoopers as an accountant. And then I moved to Stockholm because I felt that, okay, this wasn't the best fit for me. Sitting on a desk with just numbers. I'm more of creative, extrovert person. So then I moved to Stockholm without any job or anywhere to live. So yeah, going out there and handing over CVs into different stores and different companies, and that's where my sales career started actually back when I was 19, where I started at Telenor, a big telecom company. And after that, it was quite hard in the beginning because once again I wasn't thinking about sales, but have had amazing leaders that been pushing me and helping me and believing in me and getting the confidence that you need also to, be reacted all the time, or not all the time, but a lot at least, and but still finding the grind and the grit to keep pushing and keep performing. And then it's been like step by step, doing good in different roles, becoming team leader, Nordic sales director, and VP sales, and now then country manager for Monta. But it's been like a roller coaster, which is for pretty much everyone trying to do something with your career.
Yeah, sounds like a great career you had there, or like great career progression. When you ended up in sales like by accident actually, and then you felt like that's your area where you can bloom, right? Um, what would you think, like what do you like about sales actually?
I think when I was younger, I think it was you learn so much about different industries, and also you build your network, and also you challenge yourself in a new way. I'm also have used to compete in horse jumping, so I have also a background from sports. So I think that is probably like my mentality or mindset, that I like to push myself, and I like to see results fast, which is in sales everything you can measure, so you know if you do good or not good, basically. But now, like later on, it's also like it's happening so much in the whole B2B sales and marketing space as well. So I think if you look only the past five years from when I started to doing like the B2B sales until now, it's like, yeah, back then you need to book 50 meetings every week and conduct 20 meetings every week. It was more about the numbers of meetings, and now it's more about the quality of the meetings, and you're thinking about more of the data and the other customer profile, and also how sales marketing now starting to really work together. I think that is super cool to be a part of it, because it's happening so much in this space, and also a new generation entering the C-level positions also needs, we need to change how we are approaching them, and we need to think differently. So I think you keep learning all the time, and it keeps moving and changing. So I think you just all the things happening in the space, which I just love with being a part in sales.
Yeah. Yeah, I can feel you there, because I started my career in a hotel, and I also, when I saw the sales department back then, I was like, no, that's nothing for me. But then I ended up in sales, like also by accident actually, and now 10 years later, I'm still loving it. And what's super interesting, I think, is I just read a book, To Sell is Human. I don't know if you know the book. And what's super interesting there is that if you ask people, what is a salesperson for you, like a lot of people think of the classic salesperson, like from the movies, selling cars, right? So that's what people have in mind if they hear sales. And if I talk to other salespeople, it's actually the same answer, that it's not like this. It's totally different. It's very interactive, and you have lots of communication, and it's not about the selling itself. It's more about having great conversation and building your network, what you just mentioned. And then the sale is just ending up in the end, right? It's just a result. You help them to help to move forward, right? To get a great solution for their problems.
Yeah, I remember for so many years, for my first sales job, my parents was like, "Oh, come on, Emma, can you just have a real job, so to say? How long will you do this?" And yada yada. It's so hard and all this stuff, but it's like, no, but it's super fun, and yeah, we also helping companies become better, and we can solve different pain points. So
Yeah.
but now you're starting to do quite good. So okay, you can keep doing the sales job if you want.
Yeah.
Yeah.
At least in Germany, I think we have a big problem, and it's like that we have a lot of men working in sales. I wouldn't say that's a problem, but it's very hard to attract female talent for this job and this role. what's your experience in also in the northern countries, but like in your career, like do you have the feeling that there are more men in this area, or and how do you think can we make the job more attractive to women?
Yes. I mean, I've been working pretty much only with men. Very few women. Never have had a female leader, for example, which also I think have motivated me to try to be an inspiration for younger women, that to see, okay, there is not only white guys with blue suit doing sales and earn money. It's also just regular women, you know. But I think there is about to change a lot in the space, also because we know better, we know more, and also companies are taking more responsibilities and really want to attract more women into the companies and into the sales job. And I think also lately, the last 5-10 years, they're popping up several different networks, like female networks, which is super good because like it helps you create an safe environment for women that gain the confidence and they can boost each other, etc. So I think we will a lot of things have happened just the last couple of years, actually, that we, at least I see in the Nordics, more and more women going into sales, and because they also want to start maybe a company. It's more focused on that, like they want to start their own company and not be an employee, so to say. But it's hard. We still need to focusing on from a company level, what do we say in our PR, what are we saying on the website, what are we saying in the recruitment ads for a new sales position. Are we talking to a female, are we talking to a man? Because we are motivated by different things, right? So that is a quite easy thing to start looking into. What are we saying externally, and do we
Yeah.
actually saying things that attract more women, so to say?
What would you say? What are things that motivate women to work in sales?
It's not the typical earn a lot of money, and that is not really what we want to hear. Of course, we like to earn money, but typically it's not really what we want to see. It's more about the journey. You're learning a lot. You take responsibility. You are part of a journey, like being included, like more about that part, the development part, more of the soft skills, soft words, and not hard. Where you need to have be bold and not those kind of small words. And it can be just 1-2 words that you switch in a recruitment ad, and you will attract more women. Actually,
Yeah.
it's so it can be so easy, but in the end, also, I mean, we as women also need to take more responsibility for that, to dare to take those chances and challenges, and don't be afraid to fail, because that's also what sales is about, right? You fail and fail and fail, and then you succeed. And that is also on our side, that we need to once again dare to fail and dare to challenge ourselves a little bit more than we usually do.
What would you say? What is in it for women working in sales? Like, what's the big benefit for them? Maybe for people who don't know or never heard about or didn't had the opportunity to work for a company and work in sales. Like, what do you say? What's the main benefit for females working in sales?
I think that's a lot. First of all, there are a lot of stats that female sales reps are doing a little bit better, because we have a higher EQ than men usually. So that is number one.
I
Good thing.
agree. I agree.
They're like emotional intelligence kind of thing.
Yeah.
But then also, I mean, there are so few women in sales, so the competition is not that high in maybe in other work. So if companies really want to have women, and many companies now have, like, in their strategy, that they need to have 50-50 in the sales team, etc. So you can actually doing quite good because you are a woman, and also people recognize you often easier because you're like sticking out from the crowd, so to say. So a lot of great things to be female and working in sales. Of course, there will always be some people that you are meeting in meetings or at events that having a problem with that you are a woman. But I mean, the same goes for you, probably the opposite, that you will get some comments because you are a man. So I mean, the it's not the same environment as for 10, 20 years ago. So a lot of great things for being a woman in sales.
Yeah. For me, working at Pleo, it was the first time to have a female team lead or a female manager. And I really liked it because it was different. And I can't really explain why, but I had the feeling it was just what you mentioned, that she had a very high EQ and she was actually feeling how the team is feeling. And that made a huge difference because we didn't have the big pressure in case of numbers, but she was always taking care of us. And yeah, it was a great feeling for myself to have somebody like taking care of you and your career. And we also have a female VP of sales. So I think that's something I really like at Pleo because it was the first time for me having this experience. But I think a lot of companies are really struggling because, first of all, you don't have a lot of females working in sales, so it's harder to promote them, right? What would you say? What would be a good thing for maybe for females that you mentioned the networks on one side, but maybe someone who's not working in sales yet? How can they progress in their career and maybe make a switch to sales, or maybe just get some experience how it is working in sales without taking big risks? Because I think that's also something I heard a lot, is females are not very don't like to take risk like men, right? So they are more cautious to make those kind of decisions. But what's a good thing they can do without quitting the job and start working in sales immediately, but to get a little bit of glimpse and how it feels like working in sales and maybe get some ideas of how it is there?
I guess network with interesting, inspiring people, and talk to them, and interview them to really get the feeling. Mentors is also very good, but I think the number one thing, networking and interview people within different companies in different roles within sales to really try to get a hunch about what is this really about. I think that is the best advice I can give, actually,
Yeah.
without throwing you all in, without knowing. But then also, I mean, you will never be prepared, right, for entry in sales. I mean, if you have never been in sales before, and they will be super tough in the beginning. I mean, that's for everyone doing the cold calling, and you're being reacted because it's not a natural thing. We don't want to be reacted. So it's also, you need to start building up your mental strength in that sense. So I think if you are curious, just do it. I mean, the worst case, the worst thing that will happen is that, okay, fuck this was not a good fit for me, then I quit, right? So so maybe that's actually the best advice. Just do it, and then you figure out if this is something for you or not.
Yeah, 100% agree. I think that's the good thing about our time today, that you can just try a lot of stuff, and if you don't feel good in your role or whatever, you can just take the next step and go ahead, right? What kind of network are you in some kind of networks yourself? Like, is there any female network you can recommend to our audience?
There are a lot. I'm not a part of any female network, actually, and that's because also, even though I support them, but I also I'm a little bit concerned, actually, about having too many of those female networks. This is a quite sensitive topic, but I think in order to also drive change, and especially when it comes to gender gap and all that kind of stuff, we need to try to involve each other between women and men. So I'm actually not a part of a only female network, but I'm a part of other networks within growth or C-level or marketing or sales, like SaaS Nordic or Pavilion, which is very good networks where we're also having a lot of focus on women in sales, etc., with on different Slack channels, etc. But so I would actually recommend to try to find a diversified network rather than only find a network for only women, actually. And I have actually an own experience from that part, even though it wasn't a network, but I was also having in my own podcast for a few years ago, Sales Station podcast, where we're trying to educate people what sales is really about. And then we also hosted like a live podcast for only women. And that was actually the first and the last time I will ever be a part of like only women or network or podcast or something like that. So yeah, that would be my answer to that. And I guess that's also different in every market. We've been talking about this before, Dominic. It's another thing in Germany where we maybe need it in order to drive that change, and for women and girls to get the confidence. And it's super good to have those. But here in the Nordics, there are starting to be so many of them, and I think that will rather be the opposite effect.
Yeah, I totally agree. And I think I also like seeing this kind of networks popping up, right? Because I think it's also kind of, yeah, for taking the awareness, right? So to that that something that there are a reason why these networkings are existing. My team lead was, for example, part of the Women in Sales network here in Germany, and she really liked it because also it was not just for women, but they're also organizing events, and then also men can go there. And I think it's always important for driving the change. What you mentioned is to have inclusive communication, right? And also to ask the men like what they're thinking, and not just saying, okay, we think this is the way to go, but then you're missing the other part in the end. And I think it's not only about men and women, right? It's in all topics. Like if you're just by yourself, it's very narrow and it's hard to really drive change then.
Yes, 100%.
Yeah. What's your like? I mean, you're probably as a country manager. I can imagine it's quite stressful from time to time. Do you have any habits or something what you would recommend to our audience, or would you say is something which, yeah, helped you in your career to move forward? Some kind of toolings or processes you implemented for yourself?
Yes, I think one of the best, not tool, but at least experience where I had like a shift in my mind was I've been burnout for a few years ago. And my doctor said you will never be able to work 100% again. You should be happy if you can work at least 80%, but you will never be able to have a leadership role again or whatever. And then when I started to understand, okay, I can't do this anymore. I need to start to taking care of myself in order to like feel good, and I will do good, kind of thing. So I think that was my best learning and helped me a lot in shifting my mentality and start to be kind for myself, and not having bond gas 24/7 Monday to Sunday. So I think that is one learning. And also what you need to start thinking about yourself is yeah, if you feel good you will do good. So dare to take time off, and dare to take time off during the weekend, or yeah, really take care of your mental health and your brain. And because even though we are starting to be more and more like we talk about it also within companies that take care of yourself and all that, but still it's, especially if you're starting of your career, you want to prove yourself, and I can do this, I will do this, and have this kind of grit mentality. But it will not work for 10-20 years. So your brain is like a muscle, so sooner or later it will also be broken if you're not taking care of yourself. But then I love like spending times with my friends and boyfriend. I mean, that's super important. Playing some paddle and also using a tool called Mendy. It's like brain tool, so it's connected to the blood flow in a way that so you it's like you put it on on your head, and then you use your phone, and then you should try to there's like a ball rolling and moving, and then you with help of your power, your brain power, you should try to get it like moved upwards. So that is very good for your focus and also the creativity.
That sounds interesting. That sounds interesting. I think there's a lot of great things coming up also with virtual reality and stuff like that. I think it's super interesting. And it's also funny because one of my first guests, Niklas Jonsson, I don't know if you heard the first recording of my podcast, was also about this topic, mental health. And I see a pattern there because a lot of my guests talking about yoga and mental health. And I think this is a thing in sales, right? So I think to be motivated and to stay motivated, and what you mentioned, like to be successful in your role, it's super important to take care of yourself. So I really like that point, because I also feel like this is one of the most important things you can do, is just to take time for yourself and your family and friends, and to care about yourself before putting 100% into your work and then burn out.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Mm.
Is there anything like regarding like the women in sales, what you would recommend for young females? Like how can they like support their career in the beginning? Like, is there some tools around this where you can say, okay, when I started in sales, this helped me a lot to be successful in my role?
Oh yeah, networking I would say is number one, and also having mentors in the early stage, because there are so many. You're so insecure in the start, and you maybe having a hard time to know what you should do and not do, and what am I good at, what am I bad at, and all this stuff. So if you manage to build up a good network within different industries and different roles, and also trying to find some mentors that can really help you and also challenge you towards the right path, I would say that's the number one thing. And then I guess it's like dare to say yes even more. Force yourself to say yes, even though you have no idea or no clue what this will actually bring you. More like the mentality as you men tend to have, like, yes, let's do this. This
Yeah.
will be fun. I have no idea what this will bring, but yeah, let's do this. And also, I would say, especially in the early stage of a career, don't stay at the place just cause of the sake, because it should be good on the CV or something like that. I've been having roles where I've been feeling miserable, and people have been saying to me, "Oh, Bama, you can't quit already now. It will not be good for your CV or whatever." But I was like, but I really hate it. It will destroy me, like inside and out, and I will, drop energy and lose confidence and all this stuff. So dare to take those hard decisions, even though people are saying that, yeah, you shouldn't do this because of this, because it will not look good, or what will people say about you, and that kind of stuff.
Yeah, that's a great advice. I think it was also one of my learnings. Like, as soon as you're recognizing you don't give a shit about your CV anymore, and you just do stuff what you like, this will be a big change in your career, right? Because in the end, who cares about a CV? Like, if you're happy in your role in your job, that will make a big difference. Yeah. Emma, it was a super nice conversation with you. I really liked it. And I hope we could inspire a lot of young people, also females and men, to take a look at sales roles in the future. And hope to talk to you soon again. And maybe one more advice from my side, because you mentioned the mentors and like networks. The best thing you can do, in my opinion, is to just create a LinkedIn profile and right people, right? Just ask them and ask questions and also ask for mentors, right? I think that's why people, it's a business network. So just write them that you want to start a sales career and then ask them if they would like to take 10 to 15 minutes and talk with you. And I think a lot of people will agree to have a conversation. That's what I really like about LinkedIn and the business networking there.
That's very true. Good point.
Yeah. So Emma, have a nice day. It was really nice talking to you, and I hope to see a lot of more things on LinkedIn from your side. And happy to hear again from you in the future.
Thank you, Dominic. A pleasure to be here.
Thank you. Bye bye.
Bye.
Das war eine weitere Folge von Sales & Pepper Interviews. Wenn dir die Folge gefallen hat, freue ich mich über eine gute Bewertung von dir und damit du keine Folge mehr in Zukunft verpasst, einfach den Podcast abonnieren. Alle Infos zur Folge und Links zu Büchern findest du in den Shownotes und ich freue mich auf ein baldiges Wiedereinschalten von dir.